This video is about demystifying dart lengths. .8 millimeters long dart. Standard size for most people is between 50 to 51. So this is a perfect length dart. No other dart. You don't want any other size. This is perfect for you. What? These are my 57 millimeter darts. 57 millimeters? What are you going to do? Reach out and touch the board with that thing? Not happening with you here. 57 millimeters. Any shorter, just not worth it. Awesome. You don't want to go 55, 52. You want to go 57 millimeters long. This is an awesome dart. What? 50.8, 57 millimeters. Not that much of a difference. Bear with me, guys. We're going to demystify this once and for all. Just a caveat, this is not about the width of a dart. This is about the length of a dart. Widths would be an entire series on its own. So let's measure these Canadian coins, and we'll put the smallest to the widest, or thinnest to the widest. And the nickel is 1.89. So we'll put them up here. Sorry, up here. Then we'll do the dime. And it's 1.22 to 23. It goes here. And the quarter is 1.59. So it goes over here. Look at that, the loonie is 1.97. So it goes over here. And last but not least, the toonie is 1.76. So just a little shyer than a nickel. Now that we have them in order of the thinnest to the thickest, from a dime, the quarter, the toonie, to the nickel, to the loonie, we're going to put them together to see how many of these would it make to go from a 50.8 to a 52 to a 54 to 57 millimeter dart. So to go from a 50.8 millimeter dart to a 52 millimeter dart, all that's required in thickness or in length is the thickness of a dime. 1.22 millimeters plus a 50.8 millimeter dart makes it a 52 millimeter long dart. Not much there to make it a difference. So anybody who says, oh, I can't play with a 52 when I got a 50, really? The thickness of a dime. What thickness would be required if you were to go from a 50.8 to approximately a 54 millimeter dart? Would be the combination of a nickel and a dime. That's all that's required to go from a 50.8 to a 54 millimeter dart. Again, very little difference. What's required to go from a 50.8 to a 57 millimeter dart is a dime, a nickel, a loonie, and a toonie. And if we put them all together, that's the thickness. Really not that much. And I'll demonstrate shortly by putting darts side by side to illustrate that really going from a 50.8 to a 57 millimeter dart is really not that bad. And if anything, it's more advantageous, I believe, to go for a longer dart. And I'll demonstrate why. Now, when you place all the darts side by side, from a 50.8 to a 51 millimeter to 53 millimeters, 53 millimeters to 55 millimeters, and 55 millimeters to 57 millimeters, there's really not that much of a difference. Now I'm going to put the 57 millimeter beside the 50.8. Just like that. And the only difference is this little part of the barrel. Nothing more, nothing less. And now, to demonstrate to you why I prefer a longer barrel over a shorter barrel, it's coming up right now. To demonstrate, most people with a short dart or a 50 millimeter dart will put a long shaft onto them because they like the stability of the flight when it flies through the air. And then there's people like myself who have long darts who will put a shorter shaft on it. Reason being is I already have a long, stable dart where the weight is distributed over a longer proportion of the dart, in my opinion, making it a more stable flying dart. And as well as when you put a long flight on a short barrel and a medium flight on a longer barrel, your shorter dart is actually now longer in length because of the flight than your long dart with the medium flight. Again, all depends on preferences. That's why for me, I prefer a longer shaft dart for that reason, is I get more stable, sturdy dart when I throw through the air and not relying so much on the length of the shaft of the flight. You know what? Maybe I'll try your 57 millimeter darts. Get your own Jim Long darts, buddy. These are mine. Sheesh.